middle term is gone.
Oh yeah, it does work. I think it does work perfectly when the middle
Yeah,
is
so
gone.
it's easy when the middle term is gone. It's so easy.
All right, we're not going to take all these notes today, but we're going to get through a lot of them.
Where did we learn this?
I'm not going to see you guys again until Tuesday.
So we have no.
Woo! I mean, damn it.
You have no homework.
So we see you Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday?
Correct. Only 3 days in the next week and a half or so. Are you guys going to miss me?
2 days of, that's so bad.
All right.
You get more.
What's that, Nico?
You get more than 2 days of no math.
You get like
Hey, Nico, math is fun. Why would you
you'll have 3 nights of homework in like the next week and a half.
What? Is that legal?
All right.
What about? What?
We're going to solve. We're actually going to solve these bad boys now, guys, by completing the square. Here's my question to you guys: who is going to complete the square?
You.
Mr.
No.
Nancy.
Yes, you. That's your job. Complete the square. Your job is to make a perfect square trinomial. On the left, and everybody double underline that word left, on the left side of the equal sign. That's what you're going to do. Is you're going to make a perfect square trinomial only on the left, not on the right.
Can we make it on the right?
No. Okay. What is a perfect square trinomial?
What
Okay.
happens on the right?
We'll
Zero?
get there. No, it doesn't equal 0. That's good. That's where it's going to be a little different, Kev. It doesn't equal 0 on the right side. We're going to get there.
Why not?
Who can rattle off the general formula for perfect square trinomials?
Oh. Right. I got it.
No.
Got it?
Maybe.
You're going to blur it. Madeline, what is it? Kevin?
A squared plus 2ab plus b squared.
Guys, when you get your homework.
Is it plus minus 2ab?
Oh, yeah. You can put plus minus there at the beginning. Because it could be negative right off the bat. The last piece is always positive. Do you agree with that? Yes. Do you know what it factors into? A plus or minus B quantity squared. When you get your homework, guys, jot that down at the top. Your job is to make a perfect square trinomial on the left with your knowledge of all the stuff that we've done in the last couple days. You guys got good at it. Okay? If the coefficient of the a squared is 1, does it make your life a lot easier?
Yes.
They're all going to be coefficients of 1.
I have a plus.
You'll never have to complete the square anymore, guys, with a 4 or a 9
Why not?
or a 25, because that's a great question. How can we get rid of those numbers that are in front of it?
To the other side?
Square root.
Move it to the other side.
Not square root them. Whatever the coefficient of the a squared is, with x squared or you're going to divide. Since it's now an equation, you can divide both sides by that number.
Get rid of it.
Get rid of it. That's what I want you guys to do. We'll get there when we get there. All right, just a little bit warm up. Easy ones. Everybody make perfect square trinomials for a and b and factor your perfect square trinomial. Go. See if you can figure out the magic numbers that go in there. What
Yeah, I
would
don't know what
n
that
be
means.
to make
Move it
a...
into a binomial? No. Move it into 2 binomials?
To move it perfect
No,
squares to the left.
becomes a perfect square trinomial.
What?
Figure out what n is so that it's a perfect square trinomial.
Oh. Right. Oh, n is like the blank.
Half of b squared. N would be 64. What would it factor into? X plus a quantity squared. Okay? Let's do one where it doesn't work out evenly. Oh, get your calculators out, guys. You're going to need your nice scientific calculators today. A lot. Okay? We're going to take half of b and we're going to square it. That's what n will be when you take half of b and square it.
20 1/4.
That's right. But
20.25.
how about 81/4? And there was a kid arguing with, so n, guys, it does equal 81/4. The kid argued with me last period. They said, no, it's 20 1/4.
That's what I said.
Look at 81/4.
I know, but it's
What's 81/4, guys? If you change it back to a mixed number,
20 and 4.
20 1/4. Okay? So, n would be 21 1/4. And what does it factor into?
Oh, I got it. No.
X plus 9/2 quantity squared. Okay? It's half of b that goes in the factored binomial. But you got to square half of b to make a perfect square trinomial. Okay? All right, here's your, how many steps do we have here? 7? Here's your 7 steps to make a perfect square trinomial. You know every single step except for step 4. That's the only thing new, guys, is step 4. All right, watch what we're going to do. If a is not 1, the coefficient of the x squared, divide everything by a to make a become 1. We'll get there in a minute. You guys already know how to do that. Move your c over to the right side. Any constants, move it over to the right if it's not already there. Take half of b and write it down. Square, I should say like half of b, but square half of b and add that number to both sides. That's the new thing. Square, Joyce, put a little divided by 2 in there. Square half of b and add that number to both sides. OMG, why would you add it to both sides?
Because that's like the math rule.
Because that's the golden rule of math, guys. Whatever you do to one side, you got to do the same thing with the other side. Now, you're going to factor the left side because the left side will be a perfect square trinomial. You're going to factor the left side.
It's a.
Okay? Take the square root of both sides of your equation, okay, because you're going to have something, your left side, guys, is going to look like this blue and green. And then the right side is going to be some number, right, you know, depending on what the number is. Take the square root of both sides. But what can you guys not forget when you take the square root of both sides?
Plus and minus.
Plus minus. Don't forget. It's plus minus that value on your calculator screen. And then you're going to solve 2 equations after that, which will be easy. Plus minus, Gav.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
There's
All right.
sort of 2 equations, sort of 1.
All right, we're only going to get through a couple of these, and then we're going to get the rest of them done on Tuesday. You guys have, guess how many problems you have to do tonight?
10.
Less than 10.
8.
8.
I said 8 the first time.
Right.
I didn't even know it this time.
All right, here we go. Is A not A?
A is 1.
A is 1, so we don't have to multiply. Jot down maybe A squared plus 2AB plus B squared equals A plus or minus B quantity squared. Put a little minus sign in there if you want to. Guys, everything revolves around it. Your job is to make a perfect square trinomial on the left side of the equal sign. We've set the first one up for you nice and neat. C has been moved to the right already, and you leave yourselves a little blank in between your x's and your equal sign. And I always put a little line here. We're gonna complete the square here. Now, everybody, what's b in this problem as far as the coefficient of x? 6. Everybody take half of it and then square it. And then in your little blank that you wrote, plus 9, put plus 9 because you just made a perfect square trinomial. Half of b squared is what?
What do we do from there?
Well, now here's my question. If I add 9 to the right side of an equation, what do I have to do to the, or excuse me, if I add 9 to the left side?
You gotta add 9.
Guys, we have to add 9 to the right side too to make everything equal. You can't just add 9 to the left side and not add it to the right. Whatever you do to one side, you have to do the same thing to the other side. Okay?
56.
It does equal 256 on the right. But now I want everybody to factor the left side. Melissa, what's the left side factored? X plus 3 quantity squared. Excellent. Guys, remember that half of b is what's going to go in the binomial. Have you guys ever solved an equation like that?
Yeah, like this.
What do you do?
Take the square root of both sides.
Take the square root of both
Oh, yeah,
sides.
we have.
Take the square. That's why we did all those warm-ups for a couple days. I'll do the hard part. The left side is x plus 3.
Actually, that one's not very hard.
It's
is it?
16.
Don't forget the
Plus or minus.
sign. Plus or minus 16. You can use your calculators, guys, to figure that out. Does everybody know where their square root button is on their calculator? You guys all good with that? Because a lot of them don't work out evenly. That one was nice. Now we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. Wish I had a little more space there. What are the two answers, guys? So now what do you think? No, you have no clue what's going on.
Oh, no,
13.
sorry.
Yeah, it's,
Oh, yeah. So now it's a kid that doesn't think negative signs exist.
yeah, so it's 16 and then
No, still.
13.
13 and
Negative 19.
negative
Oh.
19. Very good.
Subtracted 19.
Third time's the charm. I sure hope that all tests are multiple choice for Sean's sake. All right, 13 and negative 19. Okay, that was the first one. Everybody okay with that so far?
Yeah.
All right, jump down. We're not going to do the next one yet. We're going to do those on Tuesday. Probably going to do the left side here. Let's try. This one does not work out evenly.
Oh, I got it.
All right,
Subtract 32.
guys, you've got to take C and move it over in your very first. Don't even write this problem down because you guys are smart enough to move it over in your first step. I would write x squared minus 20x blank equals negative 32. Why am I putting that blank there?
Because you need the C.
Because you need to complete the square. Everybody complete. Raise your hand when you got what number goes in there to complete the square. Take half of b and square it. What number completes the square? I'm not answering for some girl, at least one girl raises her hand. And Nico. Thank you, Nico, for Quinn Levin, what is it? 100. Half of b
Sunday.
squared. So I'm going to add a hundo here because my job, your job, is to make a perfect square trinomial on the left side. But if I add a hundo to the left, what else do we have to do? You have to add 100 to the right. That's the little step kids skip sometimes.
68.
Don't forget that step. Now, kill two birds with one stone. Factor the perfect square trinomial on the left and add your constants together on the right. Al, okay, question.
Actually, no, just
You good?
Yeah.
Sweet.
X minus 10 quantity squared equals 68.
X minus 10 quantity squared equals
Is
68.
it minus 10 because it's negative 20 up there?
You got it.
Yeah.
And it's, oh yeah, because here, we're factoring. This trinomial that you made factors into this. That's the only way we can solve these. Say again?
Isn't it plus minus?
No, it's not. Oh, and we take the square root, yes. Take the square root of both sides. What does x minus 10 equal, Nico? Oh, I thought you did it already. Use your calculators, guys.
8.25.
Got 2 decimal spots, guys. And don't forget the plus minus sign in front of it. Plus minus 8.25. Everyone, add 10 to both sides.
18.24.
I can do one of them in my head, 18.25, or everybody go negative 8.25 plus 10.
1.75.
1.75. Those are the solutions.
Wait, I have my.
Okay? And guys, those are basically approximate solutions because we rounded. Okay? 68 is what kind of a number, square root of 68 is what kind of a number? Irrational. Nobody knows what the square root of 68 is. It's about at 8.25. But we rounded. Al.
Why do you just put X and now why is the X there in the parentheses?
In the factored form?
Yeah.
Excellent question. That fact that x minus 10 quantity squared is actually x squared minus 20x plus 100 factored.
Oh yeah.
And And that factored is x minus 10 times x minus 10. But we write it quantity squared instead of writing it twice. Agree? Let's try one with where it doesn't work out evenly. Write a lot of stuff down, guys, on C. We're going straight down with it. We're not going across. Okay. I'm going to add 18 to both sides. Okay. What's half of 7? Guys, what's half of 7?
7/2.
7/2. Leave it improper. 7/2. Okay. What's 7/2 squared?
49/4.
Do you need your calculator to do that, people? No. Use the 49/4. So there's your b squared. That makes it a perfect square trinomial. 49/4. But if I add 49/4 to the left side, I got to add 49/4 to the right side. Does everybody know how to type in fractions into their calculator? Everybody type in 18 plus 49 ABC 4. Practice typing that in. Let's see, that was about 12 and a fourth. 30 and a fourth. You should get 30 and a fourth.
I hate when things don't work
30 and
out
4.
evenly.
And then who's smart enough to factor the left side, the perfect square trinomial? Chupinski, factor the left.
7 minus 3x minus 7x.
X minus 7/2. Guys, it's staring right at you in the face. You show your work and write things down, you have all your information. And then how do we solve that, guys? Square root both sides. So, smart kid leaves 30 and a fourth on their screen. And then just hits the square root button. Though some of the that's what your calculator does, Al. But like most of you guys have that other kind of calculator. You got to type in square root 30.25 or 30 and 1/4. What is the square root of 30 and a fourth? 5.5? Oh, it worked out evenly? Did it work out?
Yeah.
Okay. So x minus 7/2 equals plus or minus 5.5. You can do 3. Yeah, you can add 3.5 to both sides, or 7/2, or 3.5. Whatever your little brain thinks of, guys.
You get 3.5.
What's 7/2? Right?
Yeah.
X equals. I can do 9 or
-2.
-2. Some of them work out evenly. Some of them don't. You think you guys can do that? Do this?
I like the ones that work out evenly.
Yeah.
I think I do them wrong when they don't work out.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah, don't think that. All right. We already did this page. Go to the very last page, please, people. Let's do one on here, and we'll get you guys out of here. Okay. What happens if there is a coefficient in front of your x squared?
Divide by 4.
Divide by
Guys, get rid of it. And we can do that in these types of problems because they are equations. And we can do the same thing to both sides. So I'm going to divide both sides by 4. The next one I would divide both sides by 5.
Can we kill 2 birds with 1 stone and move the 24 over?
Yes, you're smart enough to do that. 8 squared minus 2a equals 6.
Oh yeah, you can move it over to 6.
If you move, okay. Now, what is half of 2?
1,
Squared.
1.
So plus 1, plus 1. This is the, guys, when b is 2, that's the only time the perfect square trinomial, the last piece is smaller than the middle piece. One of those weird ones. Okay? Alright, factor it, equals 7. A minus 1 quantity squared equals 7. Square root both sides. Is anybody smart enough to figure out, does this one work out evenly or not evenly?
Not evenly.
How do you know?
Because when you factor, or when you square root 7, it doesn't.
7's an irrational. Square root of 7.
7's prime.
Square root of 7 is an irrational number. Okay? Rounded to 2 decimal points. What? 2 decimal points. What is it, Al? Cubon?
Oh, okay, I got it right now. 2.67.
Somebody verify that?
6.5.
6.5?
6.5. Yeah, sorry.
Cubon is on round. 4th grade skills are lacking. Okay. Oh, and I forgot my plus minus sign, guys.
Yeah.
Don't forget your plus minus sign. Everybody add 1 to both sides. A equals 3.65 or negative 1.65. Okay? They're not that bad. Let's try one more and you guys are done. You guys actually try B on your own. See if you can do it.
You can see.
We'll save C for on
Can you be on the
Tuesday.
board?
No, I want to get through it because I want to get this done in about 3 minutes. You guys have 15 minutes for homework. You guys will get 3 or 4 of these done.
Oh, that's hard.
Leave.
Oh, I don't like
Hey,
fractions.
leave your fractions as fractions. Huh. That's the dumbest thing I've ever said. Don't change that 3/5 to 0.6. Just leave it 3/5. Hey, do you guys know what the same thing as dividing by 2 is? Like, what's half of 3/5?
9/10.
What could you multiply it by?
2.
1/2.
1/2. Guys, dividing by 2 is the same thing as multiplying by 1/2.
3/10.
So 3/10, guys, is what
Square.
half of B is. We now have to square that to complete the square.
Bad part is adding it to both sides.
Yeah, so
That's why I
9
had
1/100.
We're going to add 9/100ths to both sides.
So we get n minus 3.
3 and 9.
Can we just do
3
3
and
times
9
or
what?
can we do negative 3/5? Or no,
3 and
which one do we do? 3/5 or 3/10?
You tell me. Make a good decision.
3/5.
No.
3/10.
It's this, guys, this is the half of the middle term is what goes into your parentheses. So it's n minus 3/10 quantity squared. And then, guys, guess what 3 plus 9/100ths is? 3 and 9/100ths. Whenever you add a whole number plus a fraction that's less than 1 together, just slap them together. Square root both sides. Okay. N minus 3/10 equals, somebody get the square root of that.
1.76. Plus or minus 1.76.
Don't forget plus minus. I got 1.76. And then add 0.3 to both sides, because that's 3/10. We're in decimal forms. And equals 2.06 or negative 1.46.
Wait, so will there always be a negative answer or no?
No. Good question. There will not always be a negative answer. We just got 2 in a row. A couple of the other ones.
Well, like, what's an example of not having a...
Look at A. Example 3, letter A. Both positive.